much, Stephen. It's really my great pleasure and privilege to be able to host this very interesting panel, Digital Economic Development in Indonesia. So now let me invite our distinguished panelists. Erwin, Abdullah, Director General for the Digital Ecosystem, Ministry of Communication and Digital Affairs of the Republic of Indonesia. Erwin, please. Neneng, Country Managing Director, Grab. Last but not least, Bernardino Vega, Vice Chair of Bilateral Relations at KADIN. So good morning, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome you all to come to this wonderful Indonesia pavilion for this exciting panel. So Indonesia is a dynamic and also young country. You have a population of around, at the average age of 30, and your internet penetration rate is more than 80%. Yes. And last year, your GMV reached to around US dollar, guess how much? 100 billion. So great. And this volume is going to continue to grow this year as well. Yeah. So, but like many other developing countries, when we talk about digitization, bottlenecks also exist, like cybersecurity, last mile connectivity, et cetera, et cetera. So before we go ahead to talk about how digital economy can be further developed in Indonesia, so I want to start from Erwin, since you are representing the government. Can you enlighten us what's the latest initiatives and what are some of the major challenges that you are facing now?
Thank you, Tammy. Thank you. It's an honor to be here. So let me start, if I may. I need to show just one slide. The way we work in Ministry of Communication and Digital Affairs today. Can I have one slide? We call it 6 Cs and 3 Ts. 6 Cs is in English, actually. But 3 Ts is in Bahasa. Okay, this is the things that I was mentioning. The key words are sequence and balance. You know, sequence and balance means that you can grow without trust. You need to get trust before you grow. You need to have the capability before you go commerce. Yeah? You need directions before you direct your capital. Capital without directions, business without trust, commerce without capability will go nowhere. That will be the stumbling block of the growth of our digital economy. So that's why we have to arrange based on sequence and balance. Now, the principle of 6 Cs that we are now doing is starting with connectivity. Connectivity is just transferring of data. Connectivity is connectivity, cloud computing, and cybersecurity. They are 4 to tangos. You know, the new bandwidth is trust. Connectivity is about trust. Data transfer is about trust. That's the number one. So that's why we are not only expanding our coverage of internet, but also the protections of the digital infrastructure. And second is capital, aligning the global resources with the national priorities and also the value of our real sectors. That is very important, directing the capitals. That's why we built incubations, the tiering of capital, who should invest in research and development, who should invest for our startups. Well, we also communicate with ventures capital, private equity, and many financial institutions, and also with some of the investors, and so also for SME. The third is competence. As I mentioned earlier, commerce without capabilities will go nowhere. So development of competency is a must. We are short of digital talent. We need around 12 million digital talent. We are short of it. That's why we built innovation hub. I just spoke with Nongsa from Batam. They're interested in our concept of digital innovation hub. We call it Gandas Park Innovation Hub. So that's why investing in local talent and technical institute to ensure local ownerships. Commerce. Commerce is the thing that gig economy transferred to IP economy. You know, as I mentioned, you're not only shifting transactions to IP created economies and exportable values. No, this is part of our innovation hub also. We are training the people, the startups, and the young people to embrace a new concept of IP economics. And compliance. Compliance is not to control, but to enable them. Yeah? It's reframing data protections as an enabler of digital confidence and trust. And lastly, is catalysis. Catalysis is very seldom, not many people are talking about this because government is creating demand for this. See, government orchestrate the ecosystem rather than replacing private innovations. This is very important. So we are doing it 360s right now. Not only building infrastructures, not only opening a frequency for 5Gs, but also building trust, everything. Because we have to ensure that digital economy, many digital economy fails because they don't know the sequence. They fail in the sequence. That's why we are trying to, stabilize things, build the stronger foundations so that our digital economy will grow stronger and healthier. So Ibu Neneng from Grab and Ibu Dian will be more. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Erwin.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much for giving us this blueprint, which is very comprehensive. But before we talk about any meaningful, significant development, we all understand mighty oaks from little acorns growth. So we still need to lay down a solid foundation with this very ambitious, comprehensive government policies. So I would like to turn to Dian, being the CEO of Telkom of Indonesia, how you are going to take advantage of all this government's policy to build up this foundation and infrastructure. Yeah.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for this opportunity. So I don't want to be left behind. So I copy Pak Erwin as well. I will have one slide.
Many slides.
One slide only. Okay.
Yeah, visualized.
So to respond to the question, I actually, what I want to talk about, if we're talking about infrastructure, is the first C that Pak Erwin explained, which is connectivity. Yeah? Connectivity is very important for digitalization, because if you don't have connectivity, then digitalization will remain as a dream, and our Indonesian vision to be Indonesia digital in 2045 might not be achieved. So the basic of the foundation to have a good connectivity is to have a comprehensive digital infrastructure. And Telkom, as a digital infrastructure provider, has actually built infrastructure throughout Indonesia. So as you see in the slide here, actually building infrastructure in Indonesia is not something that is easy, because Indonesia is the biggest archipelago in the world. Yeah, so we have 13,000 islands. Actually, it depends on when and how you calculate. If it is high tide, probably less. If it is low tide, probably more than 17,000, right? So to connect all those islands, we need to build a lot of fiber infrastructure. We need to build not only fiber in the inland, but also submarine cable that connect all those major islands. And then we still also need satellites infrastructure. So as Telkom, we also operate 3 satellites to provide connectivity to remote areas. And then we also need to build towers for our B2C business, which is mobile business. And then we still need also to build FTTH, fiber to the home, to actually provide home internet to households. Yeah, so this is like the visualization of how comprehensive our digital infrastructure is. And this digital infrastructure is not complete without data centers, of course, because, you know, we need to house data. We need to also process the data that interchange between companies, between people, and so on and so forth. So throughout Indonesia, we also have 35 data centers. And on top of that, we also need to connect Indonesia to the rest of the world. So we have submarine cable that connect Indonesia to all the all the continents in the world. Yeah, and we have also 15 global offices in 15 countries that runs Telkom International businesses. So this digital infrastructure that to your question, Moderator, that provide connectivity, so then digitalization actually can work well, so then everyone in Indonesia can access internet, and so then Indonesia can connect to the rest of the world, and all the businesses can actually be run. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. I think this is a very comprehensive and so amazing to see how you build up all this data center and the cables connecting all the islands. These are thousands of islands in Indonesia. So with a good government policy, with a solid foundation, infrastructure, now we turn to industry. So we have Neneng here. You are the country managing director of Grab. Grab, we all know this is in the service platform service industry. So how Grab is being benefited from all this policy plus good infrastructure?
Okay.
But one more question is, when you're talking about how Grab is getting stronger, expanding, how you can also be sure that you are not squeezing all the MSMEs away? We need to have a fair playground, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Very good question. And I also, first of all, I would like to thank you for the invitation for me to share something about Grab Indonesia. That's number one. Number two, I also would like to use slides. How about that? Okay. Let me just.
Good to have slides. Yeah.
Okay. First of all, I just would like to inform you that 1 out of 4 Indonesian, which is Indonesian is, how many million people, use services with online. 1 out of 4 now. So it become the DNA of Indonesian people, right? So we are in more than 300 cities, and we would like to thank the government as well as Telkom, because without your infrastructure, there is no way we can help or we have a services for the whole Indonesian people. Next. So now, you ask about how industry can benefit it from the infrastructure that we have. So we have a guiding principle for our MSMEs, because with the infrastructure that provided by the government, we help, talking about MSME, we help MSME to grow substantially. Without digitalization, without the infrastructure that provided by the government, there is no way we can do this, or the MSME can benefit from the infrastructure. So let's start. We have from starting. So in starting, the MSME now can borrow money, because the MSME is underbanked. They won't be able to get money from the bank, right? So because Grab is a super app, we have mobility services, we have delivery services, and we also have financial services. So in the financial services, one of it is we can give our SME capital, because you talk about capital from connection to integration and also need capital. So we already give to 445,000 MSME in Indonesia about 6 trillion rupiah in US dollar. $400 million. Thank you, Pak Tony, to help me. So this is to start for the MSME to grow. Now, next is to grow. How is to grow? So the MSME, so if you have small restaurant, right? Or a small food business at home, nobody knows about it. How do you think that the customer will know that? Then we actually, with technology, can help them to put ads so that from ads, the customer know that there is a good food here so that they can grow. Okay? The third one, so how you do it, see, you put in the search and listing, and with technology, we can help the merchant to target the customer that actually likes the food. For example, we know that a certain customer likes chicken. So if they sell chicken, it will come up chicken when they buy ads, for example. Next is to expand. How to expand? Now we use AI because AI is very, very important because we use technology. At the same time, we actually train and educate our MSME to learn about AI. This is part of education, Pak Erwin, to the many people in Indonesia. So what they did, we create what we call merchant assistant. So the merchant owner can ask, like, to their partner, they said, hey, how is our results for today? Then the merchant assistant can tell, oh, today your revenue is this, and a lot of people buy in the morning, they buy coffee, I'm just saying. So they said, oh, the coffee, they like coffee latte. So you can put more milk in your inventory because a lot of people use latte. It's all use merchant AI. When I talked to the merchant, they said that, oh yeah, I use the merchant assistant to ask, hey, I want to have a new menu. And then they give the recipe, and then they implement that, and the result is very good. So this is the one that we use. One more slide. Next. Okay. I'm so excited. So this is the two example how our MSME merchant benefited from us. So for example, Firsa, a single mother with the loan, she can increase 3 times of their revenue. And this Harrison, he is very healthy-minded, so he can use the ads to target it only to the people, to the customer that health conscious, and it helped him to increase the order by 60%. So this, you asked about MSME will be squeezed. It's actually the other way around. Okay. The MSME use the platform to increase their revenue, and we also educate through Grab Academy with merchant assistant, with AI, so that they can be better and better. And our MSME is 2.3 million, and it helps. So total that help to employ people is more than 4.6 million people in Indonesia and keep growing.
Great. Good to hear that there's going to be a win-win. When we talk about how to unlock digital economies' growth potential, of course, we are not talking about creating monopoly. We do want to reach win-win and to be more inclusive. But on the other hand, just Indonesia, even though the government is very aggressive, putting into a lot of efforts, including capitals, infrastructure, everything, still we want to have foreign investment. So now I turn to Mr. Vega. Okay. So Dino, you are the bilateral Relations Chair of KADIN. KADIN is Indonesia's major chamber of commerce. So you must have a lot of opportunities and chances talking to your overseas counterparts, international CEOs, etc., etc. So what do you see is the biggest gap between interest expressed by overseas investors and the on-the-ground readiness of Indonesia to turn this interest into reality?
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much, Tammy. Again, thank you for the session. I'm Biar Bahasa Indonesia. I realize I'm in Davos. I have to speak English. But let me just give you a vivid example of what KADIN is doing. I wear two hats. I'm the vice chair of the Indonesian Chamber of Commerce, atau KADIN Indonesia, and I'm the vice chair for international relations. But my other hat, my day job, I'm the CEO of Adakami. We are an online lending platform. We're one of the biggest in Indonesia. We serve about 25,000 customers every day in our apps. They apply for ultra micro loans around $150 to $300. We disperse about $1 billion a month, so about 18 billion a year. We now have 27 million, but that's just a plug, because that's my day job. So, but for KADIN, I think what's important for us to know, next slide please, is that investors, you're talking, one of the biggest comments they always ask is, how's the execution? We have a lot of good policies, tapi execution bagaimana, right? And that's the 800-pound gorilla in the room that nobody talks about, that we want to have to do. So let's look at the potential. When we pitch for Indonesia, there's always big potential. Right now, the digital economy is about $90 billion. We're the biggest in ASEAN. All right. In 2030, it's predicted to be about 360. We will be growing fourfolds in the next 6 years, right? And those are the investment opportunities. For digital investment, there's two types of digital incursion. The first type of digital incursion is automation of a manual process. Actually, it was a manual process, you just automate it. An example is ATM. 40 years ago when I was in college, guess how we get cash? We stand in line for the teller, right? And then you get a checkbook, and then you get the cash. Today, it's ATM. But there's no difference. It's just an automated process that was manual based. The second type of discussion is disperse. So it's actually a process that's different, and where digital plays a bigger key. That's the two types of digital incursion that's happening in Indonesia today. So next slide. So the question is, for the investors, is clarity in regulations, and how do you execute these regulations? And there are national policies that are in place, but for KADIN, what we want to ensure is that those national policies can be executed by the investor. Investors, they're okay with risk. Yeah, we have to, like, you're a businessman, you're okay with risk, right? Because you can price in the risk, but they're not okay with uncertainty. So when the regulatory framework is uncertain, that's where the investors ask questions to us, right? We talk about infrastructure. For me, there's two types. Ibu Dian and Pak Erwin has already described about the main infrastructure, connectivity, but I think the future would be, as the digital potential in Indonesia grows, we will need more data centers. And with data centers, we would need more power plants and green-based power plants. And of course, water supply comes with it. And soft infrastructure would include tech and also digital financial literacy, I think. So that I'll stop there. I still have another 3 slides, but I don't think I'll
save something better.
Yeah, I think in the interest of time. Thank you.
Okay, great. So thank you for all the 4 speakers giving us a very promising picture about Indonesia's digital economy's future. But after talking about the infrastructure, now we need to talk about the infrastructure is more about the hardware, hardware building. It's very important. But equally important, or even more important, is the software. So when it comes to software, we're talking about regulations and more important, talents. So let me phrase my question in 2 parts. One is the regulation. Do you believe that Indonesia right now already have enough regulations? Put aside the execution part. First of all, whether this the legal framework and in terms of protection of data, protection of privacy, and also cybersecurity or cyber risk whatsoever. This is part 1. The second part is about talent. So who wants to, maybe Erwin? Yeah.
As I mentioned, Tammy, earlier, the new slogan right now is connectivity is just not expansions. Trust is the new bandwidth. So actually we have our PDP law, so protections of PDP bahasa Indonesia. The private data protections. So actually, but the implementations we are still on the progress. We have to establish a government body for data protections. The discussions now whether it's going to be under the ministries of communication and digital affairs, or it's an independent institutions directly under the president. So ideally, in many other countries, it's just independent institutions.
Right.
Because this institution is going to be the guard of our data protections. The ministry should be the one who foster the growth. No, but growth without protections means no trust. So it should go hand takes 2 to tango, but also with data centers and computing. And as I mentioned, the first is actually connectivity, cloud computing, and cybersecurity. It should go to, about the competency, I mentioned also, we can't go to, Ibu Neneng will have a very hard time to expand the business if we don't grow the competency of the MSME. If they don't have enough digital talent. So the transformations to digital economy, the one that is projected, well, the one that is mentioned by Beno, is actually a projection done by top world-class consultants.
So Erwin, may I just interrupt? So do you have enough protection for MSME or any anti-monopoly kind of regulations right now?
Regulations is a dynamic process. Right now, as I mentioned, we are trying to. There's no regulations on directing the capital to MSME, but there are lots of initiatives on growing on directing the capital to MSME. Like for example, what the Grab did. And also Adakami that is doing. And also we have a state-owned enterprise. We have PNM, they call it Mekar. They also give about 15 million MSME women, usually to housewife who has also business. And also we have also from the bank Himbara, from the government, we have also program that credit for MSME. So actually there are lots of initiative, government initiative, and private initiative to give capital, to direct the capital to MSME. But still, commerce without competence will stuck. So that's why our focus right now, before we are embarking to new digital economy, and realize the projections of Pak Beno here to have a $360 billion of digital economy, we have to build our competence,
Yes.
the competence of the people of Indonesia.
Thank you very much. When I do like this term, trust, I think building trust is very important. This also leads to my second question. Without trust, talent won't come. But when we talk about talents, I will also open to the other three speakers. So we are talking about two perspectives. One is, do you have enough domestically trained, groomed talents? And second, if not, how to poach talents overseas? Do you foresee any difficulties on this? Why talent wants to come to Indonesia but not to some other countries? So you go first.
Yeah, I'll go first on this. Actually, it is true, talent has been always the biggest problem in our country and in our industry as well. With all the development in technologies, new development in our ecosystem, with the pace of the industry that going faster and faster. So to groom talent locally or domestically, still not enough. Actually, yeah. So
May I chip in? When you say it's not enough, so how big is the shortage?
The shortage actually almost half. Yeah, that is what at least that's what we experience in Telkom.
Talking about telecom.
Telkom, yeah. Telecommunication industry,
Okay.
Yeah, at least half, because telecommunication industry, I think this is the industry that has clock speed, the fastest clock speed compared to other industry. So it keeps changing, it keeps developing, and so on and so forth. So to keep track with the right talent is a big challenge. Yeah. So actually, as Telkom Group, we have had cooperation with universities on how we prepare talents. Because what we see is that in many cases universities cannot keep up with all this development. So for them to change curriculum is not that easy. Yeah. So in many cases, the students that already graduated, they're not ready for the industry. So what we need to do in the industry is actually to expose them with tutorial, with trainings, and so on and so forth. So in Telkom Group, we also send our employees to actually learn abroad. Yeah, learn abroad, giving them a scholarship for things that matters to our businesses. So, for instance, like to learn about AI, to learn about analytics, to learn about partnership management, and so on and so forth. But grooming domestically, as I mentioned, is not enough. So we also using talent from international. Yeah. To your point, how to make them actually stay in Indonesia.
Yes.
So actually, what we can offer now is that a flexible working arrangement. We have like a good and also exotic places like Bali. So if we offer them to kind of arrangement working from anywhere, from those places, actually that's something that attracts international talents. But other thing that can also attract them is because Indonesia actually offer big opportunities because we have big population and we have a very big digital users.
Yes.
Yeah, so that actually open opportunities for international talents to work and come to Indonesia.
Yeah, actually, you are not alone. I think this how to make universities curriculum keeping updated. This is kind of a universal issue in many places as well. Yeah, I'm from Hong Kong as well. So you talk about, it's very attractive. Talents comes to Indonesia, very flexible work arrangements. Now we go to Neneng.
Okay.
When it comes to, you talk a lot about using AI. Dian was talking about the telecom talents. When it comes to AI, what's the shortage?
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I talk overall Indonesia.
Yeah, of course,
because I want
yeah.
I want to thank the government
Yeah.
because I know there are two things that government has done. Number one, I know there are many Indonesian people that work here, or probably the nationality is not Indonesian anymore. So what I learned in 25th of November, the government launched the global citizenship of Indonesia. So if you are no longer Indonesian citizen, but you want to come back to work in Indonesia, you have what you call global citizenship of Indonesia. Because there are so many diaspora outside Indonesia who's very good, now can come back to Indonesia to work in Indonesia while you still have your citizenship outside Indonesia. So thanks to the government, that's number one. Number two also, just so you know, I think the Menko Economic is the one who initiated that internship in the private sector. So I think Pak Rudy here is the one who actually initiate that, if I'm not mistaken. Thanks to that, because then a lot of fresh graduate can do internship in the industry for a year and is actually funded by the government. So that helps because then they can learn in the industry on the new thing as well, including AI. So that's number one. Now, talking about our Grab internal talent, to be honest, Indonesia has good talent, right? So what we have done, we create what we call tech center for merchant in Indonesia, because Indonesia has the biggest merchant in Southeast Asia for Grab. So it's from Indonesia to global. That's work together with the global talent. So that's part of what we are given to the country to train our Indonesian people to the new technology. That's for Grab Indonesia. Now, what about the MSME? One more thing. So, Tirza, can you, because for MSME, one slide. For MSME, what we have done, we go to the small cities. We have a program called Kota Masa Depan, which is because we believe that the future are in the small cities. For all of you, the small cities growth are double digit, bigger than the bigger city. So we do upskilling in small cities to our MSME by train them how to do marketing, how to use analytics in a very simple thing, how to analyze, how to do marketing, how to do finance. So that's part of our upskilling, and also on the AI for the merchant assistant, right?
Yeah.
And one more thing. The other thing that is very important for me to mention, because I know MBG is the MBG makan bergizi gratis. Free nutritious meals for students. So if you think about it, it's the government program, right? So what we have done with that, we actually use our SME to participate on the MBG, and their their revenue is increased between 2 to 5 times. That's number one. Number two, because we use technology for that. So we monitor the merchant with technology. So if the merchant didn't use whatever they need to use, it will be triggered. So all of this, if you think about it, is also helping educate the MSME to upskill
Yeah.
to the next level.
Right. Upscaling MSME talents is also very important when we talk about talent. So, I mean, when we are talking about attracting talents, I want to amplify your call, for Indonesia overseas. If you got foreign citizenship, Indonesia welcome you to go
Please
back.
come back.
Yeah, go back. But we do want to poach some foreign talents as well. So now I want to get Dino's take. What's your take? When we talk about attracting them to come to any country, any region, it's not just about incentives, package, high pay, whatever. It's more about a sense of success, a sense of fulfillment. When they come to Indonesia, what kind of a sense of success that you think they can get?
I think tech investors that come to Indonesia has two senses. One, when they say they want to bring technology into Indonesia, they provide that with two programs. One is the transferring of the manpower itself, and two is apprenticeship. We really stress that technology that's transferred should have a robust and aggressive apprenticeship program. So there's the second generation of Indonesians that could actually take over that tech, right? So that's one thing. The second thing is what we've realized that in investment, technology is always outpaces policy, right? But that's not only in Indonesia. Even in the U.S., technology outpaces policy. So what we have in our sector, so we have discussions with OJK or the Financial Services Authority, is a regular monthly or bi-monthly session where we can always discuss where the tech is going and what types of policies government need to undertake. And that actually assures the foreign investors that Indonesia is addressing some of the tech issues and some of the challenges moving ahead, and opening the opportunities for investors.
Okay, so we still have some time. Now I want to turn to more relatively sensitive questions. We are here in Davos. This afternoon we are going to hear President Trump's speech. We all know the world is now getting very disruptive. Uncertainties are everywhere. When we talk about Indonesia's digital economic growth, we need technology, but we cannot build our heads into the sand. The big elephant in the room is this tech race between China and US. Actually, it's more than just tech race, trade, everything. So how Indonesia can navigate the complexity of this geopolitics to strike a good balance when China is your neighbor, is in Asia, and the US is somewhere else, far away, but it's the most powerful country now. So do you see that you are facing any dilemma how to do this? I would like to get Erwin's take first.
Yeah. Well, this is what my thought, because it's a bit longer, but I'm going to answer. No.
Well, nowadays politics and economy, they're intertwined.
The tensions between U.S. and China and everything is growing because of we are embarking a new economy called the artificial intelligence economy and then the quantum economy.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at there are 4 layers of AI or digital economy that create more tensions on the global politics. Number 1 is energy. But, as I mentioned by energy and water is very important for the digital economy, especially for the data centers and computing, for the AI. Indonesia, we don't have enough energy and it costs lots of money, but we have a lot of resources and renewable, but it hasn't been extracted yet. We have lots of potentials in for example, in geothermal and water, and we are still building on it. We have to position ourselves that we have to extract or explore anything that can go from our domestic resources. Okay, that one thing that we are, we call it agnostic in terms of energy resources. We don't want to be part of the conflict in energy. We are being pragmatic and we are using our own internal resources. The second is the semiconductor ecosystem, the chips. We can't afford to build semiconductor ecosystems. We have to partners. We are not part of the supply chain of the semiconductors. We don't have the technology to build chips like NVIDIA or like Huawei. So we have to position ourselves. How can we support these ecosystems? We have our own mining, so then we focus on our own internal resources again. Again, with semiconductor ecosystem chips, we are again agnostic and pragmatic. Okay? Number 3, infrastructure.
Yeah.
As I mentioned, infrastructures, building trust and everything. Ibu Dian is doing her job, expanding the connectivity, building sort of like cloud data centers and everything. Yeah, because that's very important. We need a lot of infrastructure in Indonesia. Yeah. Infrastructure, again, we connect to 5 continents. Again, in infrastructures, I can say, well, some of the technology are using Chinese, some are from European, and probably for, like Cisco also contribute from the US.
Yeah.
Again, in infrastructures also agnostic and pragmatic, whatever is the best for Telkom. And Telkom cell.
Oh, yes.
And number 4 is the model, large language model. This one is, it takes lots of capital. Billions of money have to be put to build a large language model.
Right.
But we have to select. We can build our specialized language model. Here, again, we can't choose between Gemini, ChatGPT, or DeepSeek. Again, we have to be pragmatic and agnostic on the models. And lastly is the applications. The applications is, even though we are now in Indonesia, most of the AI applications and everything, and mostly coming from the US side rather than the Chinese side. But we have to build our own. We leverage our good relationship with the US and also with China to create our own capacity, to improve our capability, to be able to position ourselves as the co-creators of the global economy in digital.
Of course.
So we're shifting that. So I'm not saying I'm neutral, I'm agnostic and pragmatic. Thank you.
Very well said. So, of course. So, Neneng, do you want to
Yeah,
add
I
a bit?
think,
Yeah.
this new global order and this geopolitical tension, although we don't want to be impacted, but reality is we cannot run away from this. So to your question, I think I will answer it from our situation as a telecommunication company. I think there are 2 things that, there is 2 issues that raise because of this new global order, is the supply chain and innovation. Supply chain and innovation, because we are in Indonesia, we are not technology owner, we're not technology inventor, we don't manufacture technology. So we actually adopt technology from outside, right? From the technology innovator. And now because of this tension, the options is actually now quite limited. Right, the options is quite limited, and what is raising from the situation is now the strongest option is the China product, right? So from us, when we choosing which one is the right thing to use, is come back to the business judgment. Right, business judgment, not like political tension or whatever. Although we cannot really sterile from all of those, because I can actually be frank here in our data centers and or fiber. If we use Chinese products, some of American companies do not want to be in that system, right? So we have to be careful and balanced on how we use all those technology in our network and in serving our customers. On the second part, which is the innovation, I think in the world we need a new inventor, right? Because otherwise then the options are limited. So we need, for instance, like European to be able to innovate technology again, Japan, for instance, and so on and so forth. I would love to be Indonesia to be there as well, but probably it will take us long before we'll be able to actually innovate and manufacture technology.
Yeah, I believe being pragmatic and have an open mind, that's the way forward. And Neneng,
I guess
what's your take?
it's basically the same thing, right? Especially for private business like us, not state-owned enterprise.
Telkom is a state-owned enterprise, and you're a private sector.
Private sector.
So, do you see any difference when you are, using whether it's a Chinese or the U.S. technologies?
So, at the end of the day, what is the best for business? And that's it, right? It's very, very pragmatic as well. I mean, whatever the best for the business, whatever the cheapest, the best, and long term.
Okay, the key word here is pragmatic. Okay, Dino.
Yeah, let me just echo all those, right? But let me tell you a story. I think because in KADIN we travel all over the world. That's what. And about 4 years ago, we were in Washington D.C. I don't want to tell you who we met, but someone prominent. And they were asking about your pro-China investment policies. Why is China investing a lot into Indonesia? You know what I told them? I said, Your Excellency, you see all of us here in this table facing you? All of us graduate from US schools, UK schools, Australian schools, European schools, all of us. Not only that, Your Excellency, we send our sons and daughters back to those schools. So you're telling me I'm pro-China? But China comes in, they bring the money. So for us in KADIN, it's Indonesia first. It's Indonesian interest and how we can deploy Indonesian technology for the Indonesian people, for our economy, right?
Very well said.
So, but if you force me, Your Excellency, I said, but if you force me to take sides, be careful. You might not like the answer. Thank you very much.
Are you being forced to decide? Oh, no. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are running out of time, but let's just have one question from the floor. Is any questions? Oh, the young man at the back. Yeah. Please make it short. Make your question short.
Yeah. Hello? Yeah. So my name is John, and my question to you guys, beautiful panel, learned a lot. Would love to understand, how do you aim to attract the best talent and have all of these people who go from, because you go into the US, you have a higher salary, right? You have more of a path. How do you convince them to come back and build Indonesia in that way?
So each one, 10 seconds.
Well, what I was thinking is how to answer that in 10 seconds.
Just come back.
Just come back, because what I'm saying here is Indonesia is different right now. We have a more progressive government. We are trying to, we are more market oriented, and then we create opportunity for everyone to grow, to expand their capacity. Actually, in our ministry, we call it Garuda Innovation Hub. We also provide a launchpad for Indonesians or foreigners who wants to have their startup launched in Indonesia. We provide that in an industrial zone, which is also a special industrial zone. We are going to establish one in BSD and one in Nongsa. We just met with Nongsa. So we invite Indonesians, diaspora who who happen to have a startup who wants to launch a startup in Indonesia, launch a startup, or want to land their startup in Indonesia, we will provide. We will give them lots of, facilities so that can, expand the business in Indonesia. So I'm answering the questions based on my capacity. I can't answer anything beyond that.
Okay,
Thank you.
So,
I
yeah?
think what we can offer is that, you're right, probably salary-wise will not be as high as US, right? But let me put it this way, yeah, Indonesia is a land of opportunity, right? Because we are a big market. We have 220 digital users in Indonesia, right? So, to build a startup, for instance, in Indonesia, you will get enough eyeballs to build your startup businesses, for instance, right? And also, as Pak Edwin said, that now Indonesia is different. So the easiest of doing business in Indonesia now is actually getting easier, and so on and so forth. And the regulation is more consistency now, although probably it's not as what we want it to be, but much more consistent at this point. So yeah. Opportunities waiting for you to come to Indonesia.
Great opportunities at the end, 10 seconds.
Well, I guess to add to that, don't underestimate Indonesia, because there are certain position that is actually the same like a US in terms of the salary. That's number one. No. No. That's number one. Number two is actually the opportunity that is gonna be given to you is humongous, right? Humongous, and it's true. The challenge and everything, and not only that, the fun that you're gonna have compared to US. Thank you.
Yeah, let me just tag on to Bu Neneng, right? There's a slogan: if not us, then who? Right. It's not now, then when, right? So for Indonesian diaspora, I spoke at Imperial College last year, my son's school, and I told you guys, hey, you saw you see the macro numbers. It's there. The growth rate is there. It's not here. Sorry with all due respect, right? And by the way, guys, I said, Europe cannot compete with Asia. I said, why? I see you guys 5 o'clock in the afternoon, you're already in the cafes. Oh, guys in Shanghai and Jakarta, they work till 9, 12, 11. That's the challenge for you guys now, right? And so there's work-life balance. Okay, that's your choice. I'm just telling you, if you want to compete, these guys all over the world are competing with you.
Great.
So come to Indonesia and compete with us.
Great. Indonesia is a land of success, of opportunities. So let's all give our 4 distinguished panelists a big round of applause. Thank you.
So wonderful. Well done for you. Let me just borrow this one. May we invite a group photo? Maybe the photographer can be in the middle. We'll just do a quick photographer. No, this is great. Thank you, Tammy, for moderating a wonderful panelist. Thanks again. Dino Vega, Vice Chairman of Bilateral Relations at KADIN. We also have Neneng.